Dig deep, Casey. Be a pansy. Seriously.
Something like that.
It's true, though.
But
How was your night's rest?
Amazing.
They're going to say, did you see Julie McQueen? She was hammered. When she gets drunk, she looks like a dude.
Like, it looks like it's
Come on,
unlocked.
Aaron, you can figure it out.
I'll come across Brent and smack the shit out of you after I stretch.
We are very blessed today to have our special guest, Miss Julie McQueen. Say hi, Julie.
Oh, hello.
yeah,
That's probably better.
yeah, it's better.
Did you say it was Viagra gave you a heart attack?
It gave me a first heart attack when I was 21.
All right. Well,
Whatever. Anyway.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
I am very system. And it was the Cialis that got me at 28.
yeah.
Nobody says Louisville, man.
That's right. Thank you, Sean.
You know, and I'm looking right here. I see a bunch of positive people.
It looks like the Mountain Ops booth is the place to be.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
One of us is gonna die. And he loops like a, it's like a shiitake mushroom. Things like
This old highway's getting longer.
I was self-taught. Yeah.
Hey, you're one of those people that piss me off.
I think Bowman cast.
I know. Seriously.
Bowman podcast.
It's like when there's carbon in the air, there's hope.
You're like really close to my comfort zone here, though. I'll take that as a compliment.
Often.
Hey, everybody. Daniel Lee Martin here with Julie McQueen and the Gritty Bowman and his baby brother.
This is Cameron Haynes, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman.
Hi, I'm Brandon Bates. He's Easton Corbett. You're listening to the Gritty Bowman Show.
What he said.
This is Wishes for Warriors, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman Show.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Eva Shockey, and you are listening to The Gritty Bowman.
Hello, all right. You're listening to the Gritty Bowman, home of gritty bow hunting films, interviews, tall tales, and a wee bit of manly boasting.
I'm South Cox, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman.
Hey, I'm Jim Kinsey.
And I'm Jana Waller, both with Skullbound TV, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman. The studies show that if the dad of the family hunts, it's 50-50 if the kids are going to. But if the mom hunts, the kids are going to hunt. And get the message out there that I think is so missed on TV. We're the ones protecting the herds and habitat. To me, to have the platform of Skullbound to be able to share someone's story like Mike Crampit's is such a beautiful thing that we don't take lightly. It is inspiring, and it's made our lives so much richer being a part of Wishes for Warriors. To be able to be in a hardcore big game hunting situation like that with these warriors, and they still have a positive attitude, and they're still, like
Grabbing up life.
Yeah, we asked
happen,
Corey, what are your limitations? He goes, I don't know. I want to find out. Let's push it. And you're living your dream, and you're out there doing it that you want everyone else to be successful, and you want that happiness and passion for everybody.
3 years ago at SHOT Show, we met Chris Kyle at a Cryptech party, and we were there about 20 minutes early. We walk in, and he's got his books, and I just got done reading American Sniper. And so we walked up to him, we started talking to him, super humble, super funny. And, 20 minutes later, he signed up my book, and he said to Jim and Jana, it's our duty to serve those that serve us.
On this episode of Gritty Bowman, we visit with Jana Waller and Jim Kinsey of Skullbound TV. But you may not know that Jim Kinsey, a.k.a. Cameraman Jimmy, is a musical maestro. Homie's got some sick beats. You can hear some of his music on iTunes. Look for the link to his music in the Gritty Bowman show notes on our website. Jim and Jana are huge proponents of conservation, and in their show, they take the time to highlight how hunting is conservation. Jim was in the Marines, and he and Jana are actively involved in supporting U.S. veterans. It was my pleasure to meet them.
If you like the show, please go to our website at grittybowman.com and subscribe to this podcast and tell your mates and pals about us. Do us a favour and please take a moment to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or on our YouTube channel. Send your questions and podcast ideas to grittybowman@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can see the video version of this podcast on our website at www.grittybowman.com.
All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowman Podcast. I am here with Skullbound TV with Jana Waller and Jim Kinsey. And I'm excited. We're at the ATA show.
Yes.
I have been, I just finished watching season 3 of Skullbound TV.
All right.
And it's really cool the way you're focused on conservation. The skull art. I love that episode with your dad and the shark teeth and all that. So he's quite the character.
Isn't he? Oh, my dad could have his own reality show. He is so funny. He's call it like it is.
Yeah.
You know. But I have to give him credit. My passion for the outdoors and hunting and fishing and shark tooth hunting and arrowhead hunting and shed hunting is from my dad. I'm one of 2 girls. I'm the second, and I think he really wanted a boy and saw my interest in nature. But, you know, he took me into the pheasant fields and the duck blinds when I was old enough not to complain about the weather or whatever. And it's because of his encouragement that I'm where I'm at today.
I mean, and you see a little more now, right, where dads are taking their daughters out hunting. But it wasn't like that when I was a kid.
Oh, no. I was the only girl in hunter safety, and I was quite the tomboy. And growing up, there weren't really women in the hunting industry that I saw in magazines or on TV that I could really connect or relate with. I bird hunted my whole, junior high school days. I didn't start whitetail hunting in Wisconsin until my freshman year in college. I met another girl who was a bow hunter, and that's all it took was, wow, if she could do it, I could do it. And it's so fun now, 25 years later, to be in a position and have our platform to hopefully just
inspire girls and women to get out and
join the ranks.
Some of the best emails and the most gratifying thing that I found, about doing it is producing the series is that we'll get an email from like a father who said, I tried to get my daughter to go out. It really wasn't. And then they'll be like, but you know what? They caught an episode of Jana. And all of a sudden they came to me and they said, Dad, I want to take hunter safety. And we'll both look at each other. We'll be like, okay, it's so worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That you're inspiring the youth to get out and do that.
And I think it's so important right now as, hunting has become less of, it's kind of, I think we have an opportunity to promote hunting now because of the food movement and people's interest
the organic movement.
More than ever. But it's having women come into the hunting circle, really be invited in and accepted in.
Yeah. And now companies making products, designed
especially for women.
And you'll pick up a hunting magazine. You'll see women in it. Hunting shows. You'll see the women
expanding
exponentially right now.
Well, we're the only rising demographic purchasing hunting licenses are women, and we need to do something about that.
Yeah.
The studies show that if the dad of the family hunts, it's 50-50 if the kids are going to. Kids nowadays are so involved in other activities. But if the mom hunts, the kids are going to hunt. And so that's a key right there.
Wow.
And a lot of companies are really rallying. Let's just say it's a wonderful time to be a woman in the hunting industry.
It really is neat.
Yeah.
And your show, it's very entertaining.
Thank you.
You're the cameraman, every time.
Jimmy.
They call me Cameraman Jimmy, and that's completely a mistake. How that whole thing we got people running by us at ATA here screaming. What's up? But no, the whole storyline, with Cameraman Jimmy was one time. I think it was like on season 1. Jana kind of referred to me behind the camera, and
he said something. I'm like, okay, Cameraman Jimmy, and it kind of caught on.
Stuck.
And people thought it was really funny, and so really, I actually call him Cameraman Jimmy when we're filming all the time.
Yeah, so it's just kind of stuck, and now it's kind of evolved into my character, I guess, in the show. So.
And we're not a couples show, which is a lot different than many of the shows out there. It's a solo female hosted show, but it's almost like what's that old TV show where you didn't really see the neighbor. He was behind the fence. It's kind of like that, where we turn the camera a little bit on Jimmy, but you don't see him every single episode, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different element. You got to keep them guessing.
Yeah. It is neat to see the focus on, female host, but still to know that Cameraman Jimmy behind the scenes is, your other half. And so there's that
That banter.
dynamic. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I know what she's thinking. She knows what I'm thinking, and it just works out really good. We make a great team.
I mean, are you more comfortable with the camera now? Because I saw a few episodes early on where you were like,
she's come by like from season 1 to 5 is night and day. I mean,
well, it's just where you don't care so much anymore. Like I am who I am. I stick my foot in my mouth at times. I'm funny. Sometimes I'm not. But take it or leave it. And you get more comfortable in your skin. And I think that comes a lot with, social media. You get attacked left and right being a woman. Yeah. You get thick skin. You get more comfortable. And you know what? If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And so this is what I believe in. This is who I am. I love it all. I really believe there's so much division in our industry and hunting as a whole. And it makes my heart break when I see people who believe you should only bow hunt or ripping on someone because of their camo pattern or what backpack they wear or, your buck's not big enough. I would never shoot that. That is so divisive. And we as a hunting whole we all need to come together and support each other.
Yeah.
We need to be ethical, we need to be legal, and we need to be reverent and respectful. But we all need to support each other. I don't care what weapon you use, what you're after. If you're a squirrel hunter or an archery elk hunter, we all need to support each other. In
the social media world today, and you being out, the more people get to know you, it seems that then the amount of hater levels can increase exponentially. I mean, how have you handled that kind of part of getting out there and being known and so forth? It was actually very hard the first couple of years.
Very difficult. We're in our season 5 now. We've been filming for 6 years. It's tough. I am passionate about hunting and everything that I do. We're archery hunters. We're long-distance rifle hunters. We do it all. And I'm very passionate about conservation and that we hunters are the ones protecting our herds and our habitat and our flocks.
Yep.
And
we get viciously attacked.
I mean, so brutal. Here's an example. I got a message one time on Facebook that said, I'm coming to your house and I'm going to gut you on your front lawn in front of your kids. Who would say that? Right. So at one point in time, we actually had to hire an attorney and a former FBI agent to find out who this person was who was harassing me so bad on social media sites. Long story short, we hired the attorney. We sent a cease and desist letter through the district attorney's office. I haven't heard from the guy since, but it can be deep.
What it does also is it can cause a wedge in a relationship while you're trying to make a good TV and tell a good story. For about 4 weeks, we were stressed out of our minds because this guy was ruthless.
Well, I didn't know how to handle it then, and I know how to handle it now. I engaged with this anti-hunter, and it turned out he was head of this anti-hunting group. That's what they do. They target and harass women. I didn't know. Now I don't even engage anymore. Like,
it's ban and
if
delete.
someone's going to say to me, like, I can't believe you shot that mountain lion. Aren't they endangered? I'll absolutely answer that question.
Yeah.
But if someone's name calling or being rude or questioning my ethics, ban and delete. Don't even get into a dialogue with them. That's what they want. They want to get that emotion out of you. My ban and delete list on Facebook is over 4,000 people. I'm not kidding.
I don't even have that many friends.
No. Well, I have that many enemies, apparently. But that's all good. It gets it just makes you actually, to me, the antis make me stand taller.
Yeah.
They really do. They really help me focus onto what I believe in.
Like when I first put a film together, because I put my first film this year into the Full Draw Film Tour in 2015. And I really was a little nervous about making a film. And then, of course, it's personal and it has my thoughts, my ideas in it. And here I am getting ready to share it. It was really hard for me because I was worried about what people might think. Mm-hmm. And I tell myself, no, you don't care. You don't.
But you do.
But you do.
Human nature is everybody cares, and at some point in time, it depends on where that criticism comes from. If it might come from someone you kind of respect or like, then it's a lot tougher.
Yeah.
That's what I have found out.
And you're putting yourself out there in front of all these people.
Yeah.
We do that every week. We've done 65 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're putting ourselves out there, and we constantly have to be aware of, everything has to be done legally. Everything has to be spelled right in an episode. It just goes on and on. It's just like...
And we make mistakes. Everybody does. Make dumb a little bit. And people love to call you out on it.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, you just...
There's this quote by Theodore Roosevelt that I kind of always go back to, where he's like, let's remember that the critic is altogether second.
Yep.
And it's the man who actually goes out and does things.
No, he says
that
into
makes
the
difference.
arena.
Yeah,
It's who
that's
gets
a second.
into the arena.
He has 2 quotes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they're both like, the other one, that one's even longer and better.
Yeah, it is really
The
long.
arena is better. The man in the arena is better.
Yeah.
But that whole point is, the critic, you're not doing anything.
No.
Right.
You're not actually putting yourself out there and making a difference. It's like a movie critic. I think I often don't rely on those very much because I seem to like the movies they hate. So what's wrong here?
Oh, right.
But they make a living being a critic.
Sure.
And I think sometimes we attach or we put a lot of emphasis and value on that when we really should be putting emphasis on value on the person that's producing something, even when we may not like that production that much. They're trying. They're out there doing it. They're putting themselves out there. They're risking.
It's kind of like kindergarten. If you don't have something nice to say, like this is my social media philosophy.
Yeah.
If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. We can all have our opinions
You
and
can
our
think it. You don't have to write it out.
exactly. I can't even believe some people type the stuff they do. But I also, when you really think about psychology of it all, the people that are the hating and the haters and the negativity, those are the people who are honestly the most unhappy.
They're miserable.
Because it's when you're happy and you're successful and you're living your dream and you're out there doing it that you want everyone else to be successful and you want that happiness and passion for everybody.
And we've surrounded ourselves with really good people over the last 5 years, great sponsors, people that have believed in us from the very beginning. And what that's done is all these people now that have gravitated, we've all kind of gravitated together, and we've just got this great mass.
community.
Yeah.
It's just we're all working together for the greater
Lift
cause.
each other up.
What like in this, I've asked this, I asked this to a couple of other folks on the podcast today. I'm really fascinated by those that have been doing this a while and in the industry. What has been the most rewarding part of it? Like, because it comes at a cost.
It does.
Sacrifice, time, energy. But what makes you keep doing it?
Well, there's so many of them.
That's a lot.
First is just the fact we have a platform that we can talk about conservation and that get the message out there that I think is so missed on TV, that we hunters are the ones truly, through our conservation groups, through the Pittman-Robertson Act, we're the ones protecting the herds and habitat and flocks. So it's nice to have that platform. That's very rewarding. I'm a lifetime member of Safari Club International, Mule Deer Foundation, NWTF. I'm an annual member of NRA, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Sportsman's Alliance, all of them, because I believe so much in hunting and what we as hunters are doing. That's been really rewarding. And we also have gotten teamed up with a group called Wishes for Warriors. And it's founded by our buddy Brian Marshall, where we take veterans, get them back into the mountains or the woods or on the water fishing. And it has been so rewarding for Jim and I. I can't even talk about it without really crying.
Yeah, life-changing.
In fact, we did an episode this year with Corey Garman, who you met walking around the show today. He's here with Wishes for Warriors. Corey is a double amputee. Took him on his first elk hunt in Utah this year and just had tremendous success and challenges. And to be able to be in a hardcore big game hunting situation like that with these warriors who've literally seen hell and come back and they still have a positive attitude and they're still grabbing
up life.
Yeah, we asked Corey, what are your limitations? He goes, I don't know. I want to find out. Let's push it.
It's inspiring.
It is inspiring, and it's made our lives so much richer being a part of Wishes for Warriors.
It was 3 years ago at SHOT Show. We met Chris Kyle at a Cryptech party, and we were there about 20 minutes early. We walk in, and he's got his books, and I just got done reading American Sniper. And so we walked up to him. We started talking to him. Super humble, super funny. And, 20 minutes later, he signed up my book, and he said to Jim and Jana, it's our duty to serve those that serve us.
That hit home with us. It really, really did. And after that, we started how can we at least, we can't change the whole format of our show, but maybe 2 or 3 episodes
a year. Let's give back.
Let's take out. And Jim being a former Marine, it's just such a great fit.
Yeah.
And
I was first introduced to them through the Full Draw Film Tour this year. And I went to the show. They had one of our films in there. I got to watch it and stuff. And I was blown away when I saw the trailer that they had for Wishes for Warriors. And and then since then, following them, I've heard them interviewed a few different times, and the whole foundation is just it's neat.
It's neat. It's a dollar in, dollar out.
Yeah.
And these guys are as legit as they come. And
and people who maybe don't have veteran friends or understand what these guys go through, men and women, but what these warriors go through over there, to come back and, Corey Garman, there he is.
What's up?
Hey. To be able to understand a little bit better, to have this platform to tell the people about the stories they go through, and to just expect that they can come back from Iraq or Afghanistan and just blend right into society again. And really, Wishes for Warriors, yes, they get people on hunting and fishing trips, but it's more to recreate
camaraderie.
that brotherly bond, guys who can relate to each other, and it's a family.
I didn't really understand, depression.
Yeah, or PTSD.
Or that kind of, I don't have anything to relate it to, right? Until this last year my wife got diagnosed with cancer, and then she went through chemotherapy. And there was a time right at the beginning, especially when we didn't know what stage it was and stuff, and just the news, right?
Right.
It was a few weeks just before I went out on my elk hunt, and I was like, I'm not going to go. And she's like, go. She had one chemo treatment. We were still waiting for some results, and I went out that week. I've never been depressed before until then.
Sure.
Like, I seriously was in a place that was really dark and where why bother and nothing matters, and I never felt that way before. And it was, I actually have been doing a film about it, and part of that is it's my own, I didn't expect to have those emotions, and at first I was embarrassed to have them, and didn't want to talk about them or share them. But as we went through the treatments, and she's good now. She's in great shape, and hair's growing back and the whole deal.
Nice.
It was one of those things where I could then, for the first time, understand that sometimes you go through things, and one of the scariest places I think to be is in a state of sadness, depression.
Yes.
And Brian was talking about it, where he gets these veterans and they come back and they're just kind of in that space.
They're in that space for a long time.
And they just got to get
And they
He's
don't.
like, they just got to get moving. Go out in the woods and walk around. Go through the motions of happiness.
Nature is healing.
And reconnect with the brotherhood that you now can have here, because they have so much camaraderie over there, and then they come here and they're often alone.
Yeah, right. It's gone.
Yeah,
It's gone.
yeah. And I'll tell you, our friend Tom Spooner, he founded a group called Mission 22. 22 veterans a day in this country commit suicide. We lose more veterans to suicide than we do to war. And he created the group Mission 22, and he explained it to me in such a beautiful way. He said, and he's a 20-some year Delta Force, highly respected, true warrior, seen it all. He said, we veterans come back from a war where we've seen our best friends get blown up. We've had children die in our arms, stuff that is no human should see.
Right.
And they come back and they have, if you're trying to make it into a physical story, a cup of burden. And that burden is full. And a lot of times they don't know how to get rid of it, what to do. And they feel guilty of what they've seen, what they've done. They can't get the images out of their head, and the worst thing they can do is to not talk about it, and because that cup will get fuller and fuller. But if every time that veteran reaches out to somebody and tells his story and maybe feels a little more connected and pours a little bit of that burden, and because that burden is all U.S. citizens, it's all of our burdens. That freedom isn't free.
Right.
And so when a veteran talks about it, and every time he can relate to people, pour a little bit of that burden out, then he doesn't have, his cup isn't so full, and he can deal with what's there.
Yeah.
That's a simple way of saying what a beautiful thing Wishes is, for example, because it creates an opportunity for these warriors to reconnect.
Yeah.
And again, Mother Nature is so healing.
Truly.
Yeah.
I when I was out there after my wife's diagnosis, I was hanging out with my old roommate from college. We were hunting elk together. He flew down, and we hunted together. And reconnecting with those old friendships at that moment was really, like, it made all the difference, right?
Sure,
man.
And having other friends, and so there's like 5 of us out there. My dad comes along, and it was a moment for me to reflect on and kind of pull out of some of that. And mine's like a small type of example of this, but that really clicked for me to think, because at one point I was like, well, how does it really help if a veteran goes hunting?
Right.
Right.
People don't understand
But
the depth
now,
of it.
after that, I'm like, wow, that was for me. And I'm not a veteran. I'm not coming back from this thing. But I was going through this dark place, and it absolutely made a huge difference.
Takes your mind off it. You can see things you've never seen before.
The brotherhood.
The brotherhood talking about what's going on.
And nature.
Early,
like you're saying, nature was a big part of.
Corey Garman's a double amputee, and we can physically see that, he's
But he went through.
Right.
Part.
Another warrior we took out, Mike Krampitz. He doesn't have physical. He has post-traumatic stress and TBI, traumatic brain injury, and some back issues. But you can't physically tell
Looks normal.
of what he's dealing with. And we took him on a simple bow fishing trip to Kentucky with AMS Bow Fishing. Had the time of our lives shooting every carp imaginable as well as big heads.
That
and
show turned out beautiful.
Oh, it did. It tells his story and explains what we're talking about right here. And to me, to have the platform of Skullbound to be able to share someone's story like Mike Krampitz is such a beautiful thing that we don't take lightly.
That's cool.
We sat down with him in his interview, and in the middle of the interview, he basically started to tell us that he had not been out of his house in 5 years. Like, that burden had built up so much over 5 years. That was his second or third time out of his house.
That's crazy.
So that's the kind of so he was so stoked at the end. AMS gave him a bow and said,
thank you.
This is for you. Thank you for your service. And he broke down and started crying, and we're crying. It was just an unbelievable moment.
It's a touching episode. It airs end of February.
And where can people see it? What time? What channel?
Yeah, we are on Big Game Wednesday nights on Sportsman's Channel.
Okay, Game Wednesday.
8:30
nights.
Eastern, and then it re-airs 3 hours later. So it's 8:30 Eastern.
And it's Sportsman's Channel.
Sportsman's Channel, Big Game Wednesday nights, January through June. Yep.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys coming on down, and I want to stay connected. So
Absolutely.
We will.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, Gritty friends, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram, and take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the Gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kifaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowman Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Gritty Bowman.